Papa has set us on to be really in quest of God who is within and without. And God is peace, God is bliss. So as God is for serenity, God is for equanimity, God is for completeness or fullness. So this attempt to have an in-depth study of IQG should result in this, that should be very clear. It is an individual sadhana and also a collective sadhana. Every one of us who have been prompted from within will try to pick up one or two or three or four points, Others may pick up more points. So finally, when everything is pooled in one channel, everybody gets the benefit. So this is a clear-cut combination of individual sadhana and collective sadhana. In-depth study directly and indirectly helps us to have this unique form of sadhana. Normally we have heard somebody giving a lecture, we go there, we go through some text, we form some opinion, try to actualize it in our own life, but here it is not done. This going through chapter by chapter intensely, it has revealed so many things, we have heard it many a times. Repeatedly we were hearing the same words, but all these have resulted in getting the essence of spirituality. We will just go through it again and again. There came up 27 points, factors. Some more will be there. He is becoming aware of his grace. And that is why he could succeed. He never felt that it was an individual attempt to scale the spiritual heights. He was well aware that God is guiding him, leading him, and ultimately taking him there. In our case, we can very well remember all that has been blessed on us. That is why we are on this in-depth study. It is all purely by His grace and grace and grace alone. Whenever a new dimension is brought out, immediately we thank Him. It was not coming from outside, it was coming from inside. Remembering all that has been blessed with will definitely make us aware of His grace. Simple. So we try. You are pouring your gaze, I am not aware of it, but when I look back, I now see so many things have been arranged for us, for me. And now I understand that you have been with me, you have been guiding me, your grace is there. I was not aware, but still you were pouring your grace. Like that, we develop to become aware. Mind space to be filled with God thought. Papa in his initial stages was able to free himself from all comfort zones which were otherwise occupying his mind space. So God prompted him to reduce everything to the barest minimum. In the first chapter, you all remember, this was what he said. How the self-denial gained momentum. And at the end of the chapter, he says, Ram covering up everything. So the mind space has been fully covered. So in our case, it may not be possible for us to free ourselves from all these comfort zones in one go, because that will upset our whole journey. Equipment is not ready for that. So we try to bring it down to the barest minimum. Not merely for the sake of bringing it down, but to revel in God thought as much as possible. Reveling in God thoughts. For that purpose, we are clearing some mind space. Otherwise, our concentration will be on self-denial, and we may not, unless it is filled with something else, So to the extent possible, we try to bring it down. After hearing all these lectures, we should try to bring down the comfort zones as much as possible. Though our idea is to bring it down to the barest minimum, it may not be possible due to age, due to situations which are beyond our control, due to the limitation imposed by our own body. So to the extent possible, we try. That is the clue. And the third thing that came up was about this Ram. He did not use the word God first. He brought Ram into the picture. So some clarity we need about the word Ram. Then connecting Ram with the spirit. We have some idea about the spirit. After knowing something about Ram, we try to connect that Ram and spirit are one. What all does the spirit do, that we have some idea. Then we connect up Ram to that spirit. And the next stage is connecting Ram with our sense of individuality. Clarity on Ram, connecting with the spirit, then connecting with the sense of individuality. This process will definitely give us some more push towards the realization of Ram and the relevance of Ram in our life. Those who have been coming to ashram and those who have been blessed to have the darshan of Mataji, those who have been blessed to go through the words of wisdom of Puja Mataji, might get confused, because Mataji uses the word Papa. Clarity on the usage that Papa and Ram are synonyms. And when she said Papa, at that time we will try to bring this exclusiveness a reality. Then, chanting is a password to divinity. We are also chanting. He also chanted. But we are yet to get the real benefit of chanting. So here, when you open a computer or a laptop, there will be a password. And only when we type out the password, it will be open. Yeah, all the files are open for us. Similarly, chanting is a password. To divinity. This also I should keep on remembering. Otherwise, chanting goes on at a level where I do not get connected with him. I must get connected with him. That is what is meant by password, Not that the chanting goes on, the mind goes on in a different way. So these are the areas where what he did and what we are trying to. Meditation alone can set the chanting effectively. If it has to become a password, we must have fairly a good idea about what the name stands for. So we connect up chanting of Ram, chanting of Spirit, chanting of God, chanting the name of God, chanting the name of the Spirit, chanting the name of Ram. All these things, if it has to become effective, I must do a lot of inward journey. And that is what Papa did. We have not been giving much attention to this aspect, unknowingly. So now we are trying Oho. Though we have read his own words, that it should simultaneously be taken up. And he uses the word meditation only. Even at the time of his adoption of sanyas, he did not say chanting or anything name. He said only consecrated to the meditation of Ram and service of Ram. So we will try now, He could do it first before he took the plunge. But in our case, at this moment, the inner study is making us to go within, whenever it is possible. Not limited to any particular time. When all these things are going, we found from AQG that he was able to accept all situations cheerfully as ordained by him. In spite of hearing, we have not been able to. We become upset when something is not the line in which we are thinking. We become upset, we don't accept. But now that what he did and what we are doing, now we will make a trial. Wherever possible, we will try to accept first. This habituation, the process of accepting should begin somewhere. It may be from small, tiny, little incidents which can be extended to all later, gradually. Whatever is possible, a small thing happens without making much fuss, It's all right. Like that, we must be able to do it. We may not be successful fully, doesn't matter, but this should be there in our mind. In Papa's case, it was 100%. We can try for 1%, 2%. Subdue me and mine. He could erase totally because he was clear at the beginning. We read, but our me and mine is intact. So by going through this, we will find out wherever possible, we will try to reduce the dominance at least. Again here, from simple acts, not big acts, wherever possible, stepping away for others, reducing our self-assertions, the tendency to impose our priorities and preference on others, trying to recognize that if I have developed rights and wrongs and likes and dislikes, everybody has got that right to develop. So we must give a patient hearing. Wherever we differ, we can lovingly say we differ. No? Like that, we try to make some beginning on this. Clear cut, then comes clear cut concept of the Guru. Though in Papa never sought any Guru, he was very clear about the concept of Guru. Even when his father initiated him, after that initiation he was trying to put it into practice what has been told. But he was not crowding around with his father or doing the traditional way of serving the Guru, this and that, so many things. So we are now trying to understand, while retaining our reverence for all Mahatmas, because they show us through their life what is possible, but at the same time not getting entangled in the bondage. So we get some clear-cut idea. Throughout these 37 chapters, we have never found Papa go. Many people told him to stay in many places, but no. Always independent. At the same time, he served as Guru to many people without telling that he is the Guru. Probably without even knowing that he was doing Guru's work. He gave initiation also in IQG, we find one in 2 places. But as prompted by Ram, he did not even bring the word Guru there. So there was absolutely no confusion as far as he was concerned. And disciplines only for the attainment of the goal, spiritual goal, never for any worldly attainments. Even when that merchant tried him to identify the winning number, so many things. And he had his own justification that the amount can be used for charitable purpose, this and that. So here the clear-cut signal is that we should not make use of the spiritual discipline for worldly attainments. And most essential thing is developing a constant dialogue with him. Constant dialogue. Because it has been constant, indirectly, the me and mine cannot enter the realm. That is the tangible gain. Whenever the me and mine slowly says that I want to do this, immediately, cut short. God wants him to take up this line. God made him to move. God made him to go for solitude, everything. What can we do? Same attitude we try in areas where it is possible now. At least we having undertaken this in-depth study for the past 5 months, there are many instances that stand out in our memory reminding us of this salient aspect. Constant dialogue. And trying to understand our origin. Because then only, the more clarity will come. Or probably the universality can be slowly grasped only when we go back to our own origin. And rely on inner Guru only. Because not that the Upadesh from, or what you call Adesh, or guidance from outer Guru is irrelevant. No, it is relevant. But after a certain stage, if we don't develop to rely on inner Guru, our mind will never get habituated to look up to him. Always it will go out seeking answers. And the answers need not necessarily be giving us the expected result. Whatever said and done, it has come from an external source. So in Papa's life, throughout we find he was relying on inner Guru, inner reality, inner guidance. So whenever we are confronted, we also try in our own way. So there are many areas where we can try, Slowly now it is getting revealed that in quest of God of Papa is something for all, it's a life manual for all. Satsang. Satsang not necessarily with Mahatmas only. Yes, Mahatmas also. And the wisdom words of the Mahatmas coming in the form of books. So when he reads, he gives us the clue what should be the mental attitude while giving. The electric atmosphere, he says, just created. Initially we did not understand, then only we understood from the dictionary. Electric means, thrilling. It is translated, it is actualized by him. That's why you get a thrill. So what sort of attitude should be there in our satsang? Satsang, involvement of satsang should be in such a way that it should ultimately give us some thrills. Something we get connected with the inner core. Solitude. Every now and then he was resorting to solitude. In our case, we may not be able to go like that. But still within the framework in which we are, we can still resort to periodical withdrawal. If there is a commitment, it will be possible. Everywhere we try to integrate our life, then only the real purpose will be served. Equality of all cults. Those things can be tried. Or in majority of our cases, we may not be distinguishing at all. Wherever possible, if somebody is in distress, we try to help them. We don't look at their background. So this may not be a big problem. Seeing him in Mother Nature also. Whenever he was on yatra, whether it is hills and dales or rivers, He was not enjoying it as a scenic beauty. He was able to see it as Ram's Leela, Ram's. So we can also try that. Not merely, oh, what a super architect you are. We can have one more word, When we see a flower plant, when we see another flower plant, see the leaves of those plants. Each one is unique, each one is beauty, each one is beautiful, each one draws our attention. So in that way we can also try. Positive approach in all situations. We have also seen many people, handling everything with equanimity, with a sense of easiness, not very grave. We have seen. So trying to bring those incidents into our minds, we may be also able to bring to some extent, even if it is snail's progress, we can definitely try to see the positive side in anything that is happening. Fearlessness born out of love for all. During his visits, he used to stay in such places where everybody says there are reptiles or some other wild animals, but he was not affected. Not because of adventurism, but because of seeing Ram. So it may not be possible for us, especially those who have been in metros, in cities. Those who have been in village area, probably they would have come across such incidents, and definitely it will be somewhat easier for them to understand. But wherever possible, we will try. Even when we see a cockroach, instead of rushing up to kill them, and we don't give a lecture to others, only for us. Others may not be able to understand. A lizard or anything, small. We are trying to recognize God has given its mission through that, so it is performing its mission. Plus we, at the same time we can request, don't trespass into our territory. Please go away. You can use something by which, it chooses its own. Equal mental attitude towards Saguna and Nirguna. He teaches through many incidents. We were finding it difficult to understand whether it can be blended harmoniously, but it can be blended. When once we are getting rooted in Nirguna, it will be easy for us to accept the Saguna aspect. Because the Saguna is only an extension of that Nirguna. So without any idol or image we can carry on. With an idol and image also we can carry on. We will ensure. In Tirupati he was not at all, When he went to Puri, the case was different. So not having the darshan, having the darshan. In Chidambaram, so many areas he teaches us. So we try to develop this equanimity, equal mental attitude towards Saguna and Nirguna. Most essential is Jnanothara Bhakti. Mataji gave us some clarity, The purpose of asking us to read 11 times was to get this Nirguna Tattva, in our mind. So that means the entire thread in these chapters is based on the Nirguna Tattva. That is why it was not limited to one particular place, one particular person, one particular Mahatma, one particular situation. Everywhere. So Jnanothara Bhakti also we have to, it's a truth, we are trying to recognize it. That will clear so many confusion from our heart. Then trying situations, when they come, they are accepted as tests. Instead of blaming and complaining, grumbling, he taught us to treat it as tests. So we also intensely pray. Definitely all of us will always be subjected to such tests. Every moment. We may not be able to accept everything, but at least we will try to accept it as tests. And then courageous and bold steps. Commit to the commitment, where no other consideration takes place. So like that, we have been able to list now about 28. Probably in another 2-3 days' time, we may be able to again add so many. And in that process, he is also making us to get in touch with so many other aspects of spirituality. So we have now made a aerial survey, okay, you can say, not specific, of 28 points. The list is big. It may not be possible for everybody to remember everything, but still we would like everyone to say one or two from this. It's an individual sadhana, collective sadhana. Everyone should say one or two, out of these 28. We have before us nearly 20 minutes.
First one, grace form.
Grace, very good.
Swamiji, mind space to be filled with God thought.
Mind space to be filled with God thought. Very good.
Swamiji,
Exclusive.
to accept all situations cheerfully as ordained by God.
Good.
Solitude.
Solitude, periodical, resorting to periodical solitude.
Jnanothara Bhakti.
Jnanothara Bhakti, 5.
Chanting is the password to divinity.
Chanting is the password to divinity.
Meditation alone can make the chanting.
Meditation alone can make the chanting effective. First class.
Effective.
Effective. Very good.
Constant
Subdue me in mind. Subdue me and mind.
Subdue the dominant. We may not be able to subdue me and mind. He is so powerful today. All these years we have brought him up and he is very powerful. But we can try, to minimize or to his dominance to some level. Yes?
And unconditional and cheerful acceptance of all situations
I
as
think we have
ordained
covered.
by God.
I think we have covered.
Clear concept of the Guru.
Clear concept of the Guru. I think somebody has written, that is there are. It's all right. Nothing wrong.
Rely on inner guru for guidance.
We should rely on inner guru for our guidance.
We should purely rely on inner Guru. That means every time we will be meditative. When God gives us a piece of paper, we should not treat it as a piece of paper. Something is there for us to understand. So like that is what is called meditative handling,
Meditative chanting.
Something we don't, at the superficial level, we don't do that. That aspect somehow we did not. Meditation should precede or meditation should go along with chanting. Yes?
Have a constant dialogue with you.
Constant dialogue, very important.
Acceptance, Shri.
Acceptance we have covered, Huh?
Self-denial.
Self-denial has come, not a self-denial. Where it came? Mind space, giving mind space to free from comfort zones. Yeah.
Equal mental
Fearlessness.
attitude.
One minute. Fearlessness out of love, not out of adventurism. No? Not with a gun we go and save. It is purely he went there with an empty hand. And he was inviting. When the serpent was there on his foot, he said, "Why are you in a hurry to go back?" Can you imagine such a stage? It is all ruled out in our place. But we can still, in our own way, a cockroach or a lizard or anything, a mosquito or an ant, when at least we can try in handling them. A dog or a cat. We have love for dogs or cats, but that is only for our cat and our dog. There also the me and mine is limiting. Slowly we will try. Yes, then?
Equal mental attitude to Saguna and Nirguna.
Equal attitude for Saguna and Nirguna.
Padma.
Swamiji,
Ah.
approach. Positive approach.
Pardon?
Positive approach.
Positive approach.
Positive approach, very, very important. Positive approach. Only 6 miles.
Yes, Padmaji.
Swamiji.
Yes, correct. Then.
Swamiji,
Ah.
we accept things with a grouse, but we should accept with grace.
Yeah, you are right. We accept anything out of compulsion, no? That's what you mean.
Yeah.
We have no other go but to accept. But
Correct.
but not like that. God willed that we must accept.
Yeah, that has.
Somehow we will try. That is the clue he is giving.
Originality in prayer, Swamiji.
Original prayer should be original.
Prayer should be original. That I have not written. Very, very important. Very, very important.
Swami, Satsang is an exercise.
Satsang, yes, very good. It is an exercise, not a just meet, not a Google session, not a anything like that. Satsang is, we are trying to go within.
Swamiji, 3S you said. Satsang, solitude, sattvic diet.
Satsang, solitude, sattvic diet. Yes.
Seeing Mother Nature.
Mother nature.
Mother Nature, yes. Everywhere. We don't have to go to Himalayas, God is placing us, bringing us this Mother Nature in some form or other in our place. Especially, of course, it will be more when you come to Kerala, it will be more, definitely agreed. But there are many. When you go to the beach, for example, those who are near coastal areas, there also you find, in our introduction,
Ram alone.
Ram alone.
There are only 2 things, me and Ram. Yeah. Very difficult for us to agree, but we will try. We will try in our own way. So when we go to beach, imagine sitting on a sandy beach, watching the endless waves that get formed in the waters. Embrace the shore with an untiring enthusiasm. They will come and go. And then beautifully return to its source. This phenomenon is our life. So similarly, Mother Nature provides so many clues through, when you see a mountain, so many things it comes. You are there before me. outstanding, no? Number one. When you make us to scale the heights, from there, what a beautiful sight you are blessing us with. Bringing into our vision more and more of your creation. Like that, so many things can be developed. The shape. So when we see a river or a stream, Papa's that poem, I find him everywhere, Yes, then, good, today every point is being covered.
Trying to understand your origin.
Huh?
Chanting.
Chanting?
Trying to understand our origin.
Origin, very important. Every now and then we should deeply contemplate about on our origin, because that will help us in widening our love circle. Our origin. Everybody's origin, no? Everybody. We used to share in Satsang previously, when Puja Swami Chinmayanji Maharaj had been to US for the first time in the early 60s. He was confronted by a group of scientists and put him a lot of questions. And finally, Swamiji brought this into picture, cause and effect theory. So he also said, finally, who is your cause? So he brought, yes, I think we will repeat that, some portion. Without mud, there cannot be pots. Pot is nothing but mud in different forms. Removal of mud from the pot means nothingness. Therefore, mud is inherent and concurrent in pot. Pot is the outer form, So the creator, the origin, the bijam, the first seed. So that is there. We are all, without that we cannot come. Without mud there cannot be pots. Pots are nothing but mud in different forms. We are all that bijam in different forms. Removal of that bijam from us means nothingness. Removal of the mud from us means nothingness. Therefore, mud is inherent and concurrent in pot. Bijam is concurrent and inherent in all of us. It was an intellectual exercise, no doubt, but it threw open. Yeah, the moment you start in a contemplative level, when you see anything, when you see morning idli, for example, immediately we go back to its origin, rice, Dosha, rice. Like that every day, From small things we try to learn that. Rice in different forms. Removal of rice from this means nothingness. Therefore, rice is inherent and concurrent in idli. Rice is inherent and concurrent in dosha, in Kolkata. Like that we can add. Wheat, vegetables, everywhere we can apply this. It is one of the best aids in spirituality, I tell you, because cause and effect. So origin.
Surrender to the will of God. Surrender to the will of God.
Always we try to hammer this, that individual will, whenever it raises its head, we have to give a knock and say, stop. Yes, then.
Just like a inner guru. Rely on inner guru.
Yeah, that has been covered, relying on inner guru. Doesn't matter, even if it's covered, if it comes to you again, you can say. Not that it should not be told, but.
Taking the situation, tough situation as test.
Yeah, treating all trying situation as test. Then immediately, we bring him into the picture. Why are you making me to do this, Incidents are there for us, After finalizing this, we will try to connect up the incident also, so that Those who are unable to connect it with the theme, they will remember that incident. Oh, in the in-depth study, now we are trying to collect as many themes as possible. We have now reached about 28 or 29. Probably in the next few days, it may go up. And when that is, we will try to get it rooted again and again and again. And then we will try to identify in some incidents, so that just when we make a list of this and we put it in our pocket, whenever any such incident comes, it is how he dealt with it. I will try in my own way. Then, so trying.
Courageous and bold steps towards commitment.
Commitment. Firm, bold and courageous commitment.
Towards commitment.
Yeah. Unwavering, uncompromising, decisive, We should be very, very, very firm.
Yes,
The whole of human perfection. That's like a decoction coffee.
human perfection.
Decoction comes. Goal of human perfection. Every day I must ask myself, am I getting clarity on the goal of perfection? You gave me a life, you provided so many things, you made me to forget about you. Now through the spiritual preceptor, you made me aware of your presence. And now you are taking me to have that experience. And is that the goal of perfection? So each one will define. That is the beauty of it. In quest of God is given to us to bring it out in our own fashion, in our own way. We have got 100% freedom. Papa is the happiest person when he sees somebody is freed from all bondages, so that he is allowing the blossoming to take place in his own way, not forcing or not imposing, but one should be firm to one's commitment. Otherwise, we will not reach anywhere.
Absence of otherness.
Absence of
That
others.
is absence of otherness. I think that can be added.
Sorry.
1 minute.
Simple.
Absence of otherness.
Simple acts for reducing our self-assertion.
Reducing self-assertion. Subduing ego.
Subdue. Yes. We devise some method. Out of this, we devise some method. We may not be able to take up the whole, At least one or two. Either one or a few of them. And try. But we must have in our place a list of all these things. Every day, just like we do the brushing, just like every day we do the bathing, eating, going to the toilet, changing the dress, going to our profession, this also should become a part of it. Going through a list of points which IQG in-depth study has given us, so that we will remember. It may be 30-35 points, At least we will make it as a regular discipline to go through. If not the whole, suppose time for want of time, for want of facility, at least a few of the 10 every day I will, Not merely going through, 10 every day with some mental application on it.
Papa used Ram in IQG for 400 times. Mataji used Papa many times.
Correct. In IQG. That is firstly clear-cut idea of Ram.
Periodical withdrawal. Solitude.
Periodical withdrawal, yes, we call it a solitude. We can devise our own solitude, our own withdrawal.
Swami, everything is insignificant, everything is irrelevant. everything is unimportant.
Huh?
Nothing is
That mantra, three mantras.
Three mantras.
Three, that is, nothing is irrelevant, nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. Even if we fail, suppose it comes.
Love conquers hate. That we can put in daily
love
life.
conquers hate.
Oh. No, where we have brought love, no. Yes.
Touch of gratitude.
Papa says
Touch of
instead of fear or even hating that person, you start giving a loving smile.
Okay. Yes.
Gratitude.
Gratitude, yes.
Discipline and a constant dialogue with him.
Constant dialogue, yes.
Discipline a regular constant practice on.
Regular, constant.
Discipline to constant
Yes, Swamiji, Ram Nam at the same time. That's very important.
Okay, then. Same people, please, others also may bring out. Because we are pooling everybody's thoughts into one.
Rajamami says silence.
Huh?
Silence.
Silence. Papa. Silence.
Improve the expansion.
Expansion.
Exclusiveness has come.
Exclusive expansion.
Then.
Self-imposed discipline.
It has come, Not what others say.
Swamiji see as Ram, all the situations as
Yeah. We will keep on repeating to ourselves. I have to accept all situations as ordained by Him. Please make me to do that. Let it not be a thought. Let it not remain at the thought level. Let it come down to the experiential level.
Then integrity in trying times, Swami.
Retaining integrity in trying times, like that lawyer came, but that is not. Maybe that man tempted, lottery.
Indwelling and all-pervading reality.
Retaining integrity in testing times. Let everybody say.
Swamiji, exclusively Ram.
Only Ram.
Just come in.
Already somebody told. Only Ram.
Exclusiveness.
Only
Only Ram.
Only
Ram and me. Okay. Then.
Love, perfection, gratitude,
The?
love, perfection, gratitude,
dedication.
dedication.
Touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of gratitude, touch of dedication. That should be the yardsticks, when we deal with. Good.
I mean, non-judgmental.
I love everybody to say, non-judgmental, okay. Touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of gratitude, and touch of dedication. Now what did they say? Now something of you. Just now somebody said no.
Non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental.
Inclusions are taking everybody along with us. Inclusion.
Non-judgmental. And then suppose we read it on when God will test us, He will make us to hold on to judgmental approach. Immediately we should remember, no? He must be having some other points. That is why He did like that. So I will give relevance to here, whether at home or in the office or with our friends. Suppose we are having an association meeting. We may be bringing out in good faith some idea, but somebody also may be having. So we must lend a ear to that, encourage him to bring it out. We used to share, while in Puja Swamiji's time, when suppose we take up some construction or some other project, and when we go there to see how it is going on, then devotees who are accompanying may give so many suggestions, natural. Suppose somebody is sick, you will give him how many prescriptions, like that, out of love, not the name meaning. So one day we asked Swamiji, if people start giving us all these, there will be confusion in our execution. Spontaneously, Swamiji turned towards me and said, what harm is there in hearing? If it is going to help us, we will take it, otherwise we will hold on to ours. But why should we feel irritated when somebody says something about it? There may be a point that says God is prompting them to do it. So it's a test, practical. That was a practical demonstration of giving space to others. That would be the best word, giving space to others. Because when we remember this word, whenever we handle anything, am I giving space to them or am I asserting my own space on them? Now it is already 5:05, but today it was wonderful. Though we did not go in the specific things, there are about 39 points now. 39 points. Wonderful. We started with 17 or 18, but then now it is 39 points. Probably it might go to some other point. This is very important. That means the in-depth study is really giving us some insights. Now the struggle is to actualize this in our life. That is okay. If He has taken us this much, He will also empower us to tackle all issues. Probably the equipment should cooperate. We can't blame God. The equipment He gave can only do that much. Suppose you say you must sit and hear. Suppose you have got knee pain, you can't sit and hear. You will sit on a chair, So the bodily limitation and all those things will be there. Still, out of this 39 or 40, if we intensely remember and make an effort or make an aspiration to put it into practice in small items and then big items, then the whole purpose of this in-depth study for the whole of the year is fulfilled. So this is an individual sadhana and collective sadhana. Collective sadhana in the sense, all are pooling. Many may not be telling, that's all. But in their hearts, all these things are going on, welling up. Otherwise they will not come and hear. It would have been better if they also come out with something. Otherwise also okay. So there is a common pool now. Yes. We remember Papa's one word. Why this congregational chanting, he says, It is quite possible in a congregation, your mind gets silenced and transcends multiplicity, and you feel there is nobody about you. In such a congregation, usually, you will find some person who is advanced on the spiritual path and is unconsciously producing a holy atmosphere and sanctifying it, as a result of which it is easy for an aspirant to still the mind. Therefore, for self-purification, it is rightly said that we must commune with the devotees of God who are constantly thinking of Him and who have attained some measure of peace and tranquility through union with Him. In such company, we find great help and our spiritual progress is accelerated. So we take these Satsang sessions, Google session, or our friends who are sitting before us. Each one will be knowingly or unknowingly contributing something and giving a push to our journey. Each one. Because otherwise we will not be able to spend this time here. Our priority would have been something else. The very fact that we are drawn here, Papa in his own mysterious way he draws here. That means we are dwelling on him, dwelling on spiritual journey, dwelling on spiritual path, finding, feeling miserable when we are away from him. And again trying, somehow I should realize you. Somehow I should feel that you are with me. This is there in everybody's heart. That is slowly welling up. So the tangible gain of a congregational meet is this. When all these thought level, when it is poured, probably many would not have expressed it, that's all. But the atmosphere is now filled with such thoughts, and that will have a positive impact on our spiritual journey. That's why he said, in such company we find great help and our spiritual progress is accelerated. Very good. We will try to take up one by one from tomorrow. In the meantime, any new points, you can bring it out also. By the time, I think by the end of June, we will have a master list. And each one, if you can send the email, I don't know whether your email is here, we can send this master list to everybody. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om